Hey, Don Barrington here, Barrington Engines. Today, we're going to be working on CCing the cylinder head. The head we are CCing is an older, super late model spec head made by Brodix. I'm converting this head here to solid roller cam. It's going to be just open motor now. Before we change things, we need to know the size of the combustion chamber. The reason we want to know the size of the combustion chamber is to figure out the proper compression ratio for the whole engine. So you'll need a few things to do this. Some white grease, a barrette, which I have sitting up here on the shelf. My barrette is a 100cc barrette. You can use little ones and add it all up. I prefer just do it once. Got to be careful. This actually survived the 94 Northridge earthquake, so it's a special one. You'll need a funnel, the right length spark plug, a sheet of plexiglass, or I guess it's plexiglass, the hole in the middle. If you look, I have little notches here. That's for the heads where the valves actually stick up past the surface. In this case, we won't need those. Head stands to level the head, get it ready for everything. Alcohol, I put the alcohol in my barrette, and I put food color in it because I'm getting old. I want to be able to see all these lines, if it's in the picture or not, but you will see them. Those little, each line is a 1/10 of a cc. And then valves that will go in the combustion chamber. The chamber, basically I took it apart. I put checker springs on it. When I was taking this engine apart, I checked piston and valve clearance just because I want to know what it was. So I'll be changing the cam in it. And then I cleaned out the carbon on the one chamber here that we're doing the CCing on. So, let's get her set up. Get our stands in here. Hopefully it comes up pretty level. Set it up on the bench, which is cluttered and full of stuff. All right. We got our head there. Hopefully you can see it all while I'm doing it. Maybe that'll help. Put some white grease on your valve. So if I can see what I was doing. So yeah, put a little white grease on there. You can put it in the guide, down the hole. I like to spin it around, make sure the grease is sealed in there. Take the other valve, in this case it's my exhaust, do the same thing. I'm going to put grease around it. Put it in the hole, the guide, put it down in there, spin it around. Now, reach here, grab a rag. You go through a few rags doing this. That grease just gets everywhere. Wipe it up. Much of it as you get out of there as you can. You know, in the old days, we had to really know good math to figure out our compression ratio. But nowadays, if you just know the basics, the CC of your piston, whether it's positive or negative. If it has a dome on it, it'll be negative. Has a dish, it'll be positive. The diameter of your head gasket, usually Phil Pro or Cometic will tell you how many cc's is inside that head gasket fire ring. And then how far down the hole your piston is, the flat of the piston in the block. And then you need to know what we're doing right here. And now you can go to Summit. Summit has an excellent compression ratio formula page. Just punch in your information and boom, it'll tell you exactly what your compression ratio is. So here's my spark plug. You want to make sure you get one that's the proper length for what you're working on. In this case, we have a 14mm spark plug, straight. I always put a little grease on there. I don't like to over tighten it. Make sure it seals in the head. Screw it in. Take your little ratchet. Put it on there, tighten her up. And it should come out just about flush with the combustion chamber. You know, you don't want something that's way down that way. If it's too short of a spark plug, sticking way out this way into the chamber, you won't get a true reading of your size of your combustion chamber. There we are. Alrighty. Now you take your grease and you just start spreading it around the edge of the chamber here. I use cheap Stay Lube grease, so you can still find this. And there's no sense buying the super expensive synthetic stuff to do what we're doing here. That'd just be a waste of your money. But you put it around the edge of the chamber like this. So you'll be able to seal that piece of Lexan or plexiglass, whatever it's made out of. That needs to be fairly thick. If you're making your own, you don't buy a kit somewhere to do this. You don't want it flexing on you. Take and wipe that grease out of there. Get it all set up where you want it or how you don't want it. All right. One rag bites the dust. To the trash it went. Okay. Now you set your piece of plexiglass or Lexan on there and you move it around a little bit, and you'll notice when you do that, you'll see the grease come up and into the Lexan. You'll note how it's all sealed in there. So you're ready to go. Now, I'm short on room in here, but we're going to add our alcohol to this. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, arrange the camera maybe just a little bit there. So you put a funnel in it. Make sure the barrette's turned off. Now we're gonna fill it up. This is a 100cc barrette. So we're gonna go up to 0 with our nice blue alcohol. If it's not perfect, it's all right. If you're off by 1/10, you just either add or subtract when you're all done. I started to do this with some external mics, but for some odd reason, I couldn't make them work. So, it is what it is. But one other thing you need when you're doing this is a child's little ear syringe. You'll know why when we're done. Okay. We have our alcohol in our barrette. Let's move it over to the cylinder head here. It's easier to do if I clean off my bench before I started, but time is money and I've been really busy. They're coming to get me, it sounds like. I don't know if you hear the sirens out there, but it's life in Southern California. All right, you set your barrette up over the hole in the plate. Get it lined up, fairly straight. We'll find out how level our head is here in a minute. And you turn it on and let her rip. I believe these were supposed to be around 60 cc's back in the day when they were new. I don't know how many times this has been rebuilt or surfaced or whatnot, but we'll know shortly. We're at 40 and going. If you can set it, hopefully you can see it, that there it goes. It's getting filled up. Now we have a pretty good sized bubble. Oh, look at that. We're at 58.5. Now we just go a little at a time, trying to get rid of that bubble. And, whoa, we're at 61. And I still got a little bubble right there. if you really, I hope you can see it, if you really want to get rid of that little bubble, you can tilt your head up, move it a little bit towards the hole. There, the bubble's in the hole. It'll disappear. You can bring your barrette back down to that hole and give it just a, and we're done. This bubble's gone. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we are now at it's just 1/10 of a cc over 61. So I'm going to be servicing these heads. After I do that, I'll be doing this again. Now we're done. That's it. Take a marker. I'll round it to that 1/10, make it 61. I'll write it on the head so I don't forget. Then you take, now you're going to find out why we have that little infant syringe. So you take that, set it there. We're going to drain this. You don't want to sit in there and stain it. So while that's going back into my alcohol bottle, you take the syringe, you stick it in that hole, squeeze it, pull out some alcohol, shoot it in there, do it again. It's actually pulling my valves up. All right, that's as much as I'm going to get out of that, but hopefully it's enough that it won't make a big mess. Pop that off. Now I use a syringe to clean the rest of it out. Back into the alcohol bottle. By the time we have this done, my barette's finishing up. It's empty now. So there you have it. We have a Brodix spec head from, I'd say, the early 2000s, 2005, somewhere in there. Super late model engine. We CC'd it. It's 61 cc's at the moment. I'll be cutting it and then re-CCing it. I'm going to be cutting out these fire rings that were left in here by the old Felpro. I think they were part number 1003 back in the day. And we're going to upgrade to some Cometic gaskets. Probably raise the compression just a little bit. This engine's going from the old flat-tapped solid lifters that they had to run back then. We're going to put a solid roller in it and let the customer go have a good time out at Willow Springs running around. So if you have any questions, feel free to make a comment at the bottom of the page. If you like what you see, we'll be doing more how-to videos for the basically machine shop world. We've been in business for, it'll be 50 years next year. My dad and I started this, 1976. Part of preserving his legacy, I'm just going to do little bits and pieces now and then about the business and what he taught me to let it live on. Thank you.